So today is our water celebration, but I personally like to celebrate water all year long. This is a great place to live if you like water, given that the word Minneapolis means water city for those watching on video. The mini is from the Dakota word for water, and the apolis is from the Greek word for city. Like a lot of people I know, I like being on the water in a boat. I like being in the water when I'm swimming. I like to be under the water in a hot shower. And I like to be next to the water when I'm walking or riding a bike. I have visited the desert several times in my life, and I think it's beautiful. But I find that I am most at home in places where there's enough water to make everything lush and green. Not only do I like to have water around me, I like to have it in me. Water is my absolute favorite thing to drink. It's pretty much the only thing I drink. I have a few glasses of milk a week. I have a cup of tea when I have a cold. But the rest of the time, I am happiest with a glass of plain old water. No bubbles, no plastic bottle, not even any ice. It really is my favorite thing to drink, but I find that people do not always believe me. Are you sure you want just water? They ask, looking at me to make sure they heard correctly. Sometimes there's a bit of suspicion in their eyes, like I might have a secret I'm not telling them. Or like I really want something else, but I'm just too shy to ask. That's not the case. I really, really want the water. I guess maybe they think water is too boring or too simple for anyone to really want it. A glass of water is pretty simple, but I don't find it boring. And the truth is that water can be a very complicated thing, especially when you think about how human beings relate to it. For example, a lot of people proclaim their love for being outside on the water or in the water or even walking in the rain. They say, I love water. But watch what happens as soon as even a tiny amount of water tries to come in their house. Maybe it's burbling up from the basement. Maybe it's trickling down from a leaky roof. It's amazing how quickly people do not love the water anymore, and they want it to go away. We're very grateful for the water that fills our bathtubs and our washing machines, but the second we get out of the bath, what do? Dry off. We get rid of the water. The minute the clothes are done in the washer, you want them dry, and you can't wait for them to be out of the dryer. We want it to rain on our garden, but somehow not on the picnic we're having in our garden. We think a river only looks beautiful when it stays in its banks, and we don't like our oceans to come onto shore. It's very complicated. And different kinds of people can have different feelings about water. For example, for the Europeans who sailed to the United States centuries ago, the ocean was a path to freedom. For Africans brought here against their will, the ocean was a path to slavery. For many migrants around the world today, the sea is both a path to freedom and an obstacle. Another example, in a number of places in our country, the water that comes out of your faucet is not safe to drink. But if you live just about anywhere in Minnesota, it is. Your feelings about water may depend on who you are and where you live. Even a water-based recreational activity like swimming is complicated. In the United States, most African American kids don't know how to swim. Most white kids do, leading to some very big differences in how people experience water. So water might seem like a simple thing, simple molecules of common elements. But when you mix water with the human experience, it becomes very complicated. So that's one of the reasons we come here to FUS, to be together, because the world can be a complicated place. With so much going on, it's good to have somewhere to come for community, for support, for finding out more, and for creating joy. We come together because we can learn from each other's experiences and learn about the world we live in. We come together because we have more power as a group to make changes in the world if there are things that we don't like, if there are things that are unfair. We come together because sometimes just one brain is not enough to figure things out, to figure out how complicated things really are, or to figure out how to change things for the better. The world will never be as simple as a clear glass of water, but it's better to navigate it together.